Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here for part 2 of sitting comfortably and with ease for meditation. I'm going to continue in this video to show you how to use a chair effectively, or how to use the chair and the floor so that you can go back and forth between sitting downward on the floor or sitting upward on a chair. I'll start on the chair. So one of the reasons that most people choose to sit on a chair is because the chair takes away some of the stress and strain of the joints, the ankle joint, the knee joint, and the hip joint. You'll notice here that I fit this chair pretty well. And the reason that I know that is that, and I'll show you from the side, with my legs bent in this position, the knees are still slightly lower than the hips, and I can sit upward without any strain, again, on the knees, on the ankles, or the hip joint. Now, one thing that may be effective for me on this chair is if I wanted a little more stability in the legs, I could put a blanket here in front of the chair, and this creates a softer surface to ground the feet. And I'm a little bit more connected now, so that from the knee to the hip, my leg bones are moving back and resting downward. For people that have a taller body, longer legs, longer limbs, it can be very important to put blankets, maybe even one or two, on a chair seat so that when you're sitting down on it, it allows for that length of your legs to be supported. So this doesn't necessarily work for me because, as I show you to the side, now my knees are much lower than my hips, and that won't ground the feet as well. So again, my optimal one for my body and for my height is perhaps one blanket here underneath the feet. Now I'm going to show you something that you can do with the other blanket. So I have this blanket, and I'm going to fold this blanket. So I fold it like pleats inside of itself. And another option with this blanket is that I put it over the back of a chair seat. Now, I'm in a yoga chair that is backless, but many chairs, many places have a firm back here. And you want to be able to use the back of the chair effectively. So I can sit back a little further, and now that blanket, if I have to lean or just relax for a little bit, I can lean back on that, and the blanket is still giving me support, kind of moving the upper back forward and allowing the chest area to remain open. One of the things that we don't want to do when we sit for meditation in the chair is kind of sink all the way back on the chair, because this can be a dull posture for the concentration and clarity that we're aiming for in our mind. So I sit using a chair a little forward like this, or if I need to rest my back for a little bit, I have this blanket on the back of the chair seat, and I can relax into that for a few moments. Now I'm going to come to how we use the chair if you're seated on the floor, but you know that you also need that back support, right? Every once in a while you're seated on the floor and you think, all I really need here is to lean back for a few moments. So again, I have my two folded blankets, and if I have a chair that I have access to, I can sit down on the floor, cross the legs, and now I take hold of the legs of the chair and move it closer in or toward me so that it supports my upper back. So here I am without the chair. And then when I move the chair in and have that support on the upper back, now I can lean into that a little bit. And the chair is actually also guiding a direction. It's bringing the energy of the body upward from the pelvis to the back of the heart. And it also helps to align the neck and head so that the shoulders and the head and neck don't fall forward. Okay, and I'll just show you that quickly from the side so you can see what I mean. So the chair comes around. And I lifted the legs up next to my hips. And then I got a little bit of that poke that you'll see of the chair in the upper back. And then I can sit here for a little bit and use that feedback of the chair in my back, again, to help roll the shoulders back, keep the head and neck in the center. So that is some effective use of a chair, how to sit with the chair, how to be comfortable with the chair. And I'm going to show you one other thing here that can be helpful, which is that sometimes when we're seated on the floor, I have my handy pair of socks. So I always have a pair of socks either on my feet or an extra pair in my bag. So all I've done is I've taken the pair of socks, right, and I've rolled them into each other so that I have a soft little cushion or ball of support. So sometimes it is the ankle bones that kind of become sore, or the bone against the floor is creating discomfort. You can take your sock and just put it underneath your ankle bone, either the leg in front or the leg on the inside, and that creates a support so that the hardness of the floor or a stiffness in the ankle doesn't distract you. Now, one other thing, which is probably my favorite, is how we use a belt for meditation. So here I am again. I'm seated on the height of 2 blankets. I've crossed my legs, and I've made a full loop in my belt. What I can do with this loop is I can put it around my knees, and it creates a harness for the legs. And again, it brings your energy and your body toward the midline to help you lift up. So I take that loop and I put it around the outside of the knees. And here in this position, you'll see that now I have to widen the feet, walk them out, and gradually the knees will settle down, but they're also held in. And this is a really effective way to pacify or quiet the top of the thighs, the groin muscles, so that you can relax here. This is one of my favorites for long stretches of seated meditation. And now one other, and I'll show this from the side. Again, we can use a belt to also bring more awareness, attention to the lumbar region. So it can go around the sacral area and come all the way out to the knees, holding the knees this way. And you pull and tighten that belt. So it helps to, and again, harness the legs, move them from outside in, but also this effectively, and if you make it tight enough, will move the sacral area inward, and the direction then of the thighs and knees can go forward and down. So I consider a belt indispensable in our yoga practice and in our seated meditation practice. I hope that you enjoyed part 2 of sitting with ease and comfort in meditation.